Hey everybody, it's Mad Master here. I'm doing a video today, and pardon the background. My apartment's in a state of transition, much like us plebs in America that are going to be driving overpriced electric cars in 10 years because the Democrats are going to win every election and get everything they want. So instead of going after public or going towards public transportation, have us buy their crony capitalist electric cars. No. Anyways, my apartment is in a state of transition. I'm going to be cleaning up, so pardon the background. I know I've been criticized in the past for my messes on floors and stuff, so it's like, I don't really care. But anyways, this video is not about my apartment. It's about this manosphere thing that's been going on, and not as far as a more seductionist parts of the manosphere, like playing with fire or other people like that, because they would definitely agree with this video that I'm about to do, I'm sure, in many ways. So, and that's like, they point out some type of modern trend with women, like the latest thing is tattoos, or I mean, I've heard people criticize people that have, that never date a woman that has painted on eyebrows, and like my ex-girlfriend had or whatever, which is true. As far as I know, she has a lot of tattoos now too. So so don't date a woman with tattoos. Don't date a woman with a lot of tattoos. It's bad. So first of all, I hear this and I'm like, this is not what I learned in the manosphere a long time ago as far as how to view things. In fact, this is anti-ethical to anything that anyone would have as far as a belief in bettering yourself, getting better with women, or whatever it is in the United States or in the West in general, because it ties into this like MGTOW / incel / red pill philosophy that postulates that women in America are all brainwashed by all this wokeism and this communism, and they're just automatons that can't think for themselves and are just following this whole thing. Now, that goes against a lot of what the original manosphere stuff said anyways, because, oh, well, women can't help themselves even if they say something. This is the whole PUA thing. It's like evolutionary psychology, biology trumps any kind of socialization kind of shit, right? But now they're saying the opposite. Aren't they saying the opposite by saying this? Like, oh, the feminism brainwashed them, so they won't do, And it's like a total, like, incel kind of thing to believe that independent, free-spirited woman wouldn't be drawn to the same thing as some kind of passive, more docile, more traditional woman. It's totally anti-ethical to any of those beliefs, any beliefs of the seduction community, anything about dating, men's dating, as far as like what's been taught by a lot of people. Call it a grift, call it a scam, which a lot of it is, but a lot of it back in the day, 2010s, before, since 1992 when Ross Jeffries wrote his infamous book, and maybe Eric Weber wrote his book, it's not been about, oh my God, these unattainable, these women, don't date a woman with tattoos, they'll just break your heart. How, if you think about, we want to use the word cuck or beta. It's totally relevant to use it as far as this. This is like the right-wing side of cuckery or beta-dom or symptom. To think that you can't conquer a woman with tattoos. First of all, a woman with a lot of tattoos or whatever. And, there's a video within the video that I'm going to post in the description, that this woman is kind of a feminist and blah blah blah. She says some stupid shit. I'll concede that, but the overall point is the same. Who gives a fuck? If you really believe that you're attractive, that you're alpha, should you be threatened by a woman with tattoos or painted on eyebrows or whatever? No, that may not be your preference. That's fine, and I think that's fine. But to say like it's some kind of threat to your manhood that a woman would have a lot of tattoos, it's fucking ludicrous cuckdom, almost as bad as like the worst soy boy with who asks for advice with his wife's boyfriend. stuff like that. The whole wife's boyfriend thing. I think the meme is fucking hilarious. It's making fun of polyamory, you know, sort of, but it's also making fun of like the modern liberal thing, orthodoxy and stuff, which I think should be totally lampooned and disregarded in some ways, you know, obviously. But this side of the, you know, this right wing cuckery is what it is. This idea that, oh, woman with tattoos, oh, scary, they're psycho. If they're, I mean, part of the whole PUA thing is like how to handle women's chaotic emotions. You know, like Tyler Durden, Owen Cook, his real name, or who, I don't know who it was. He had these diagrams and stuff about a woman or man has to be the arrow and the woman will be the squiggle and all this stuff. Like, I know it's kind of sexist, but kind of it's like David Dida, like Way of the Superior Man kind of stuff too. And, you know, that was what it was about. But now it's about be afraid of women with tattoos. I mean, my personal preference is I like tattoos. I think they're hot. I want to get more myself. I might even go today to get a tattoo. I've been kind of pushing this off because various fears of allergies and stuff like that. But I mean, I do have one tattoo, which is a Manowar tattoo, by the way. But, you know, I got 20 years ago in May. But yeah, it's just so stupid. It's so ridiculous. And, I mean, what are you afraid of? Like, a woman has a lot of tattoos. Oh my God, they're psycho. Oh, they're on 5 SSRIs. And, you know, that's the modern day. I mean, you're gonna face that, and they're probably like they might like Black Lives Matter or whatever. But how is that a threat to you? Like, how is that? I think the whole thing has flipped. That's my whole point. The manosphere has flipped. It used to be about it doesn't matter what they like. It doesn't matter because your attractiveness, your alphadom, you know, your generated attraction. It doesn't matter what they like. I mean, it's kind of disregards, you know, a little bit. It's a little bit objectifying and disregards their humanity a little bit. But HB10, how to get an HB10, you know, that, you know, go to some shitty dance club and give them a neg, you know, or whatever. You know, I mean, that's not it. That's oversimplifying it. But I'm just saying, like, there's a chasm of, there's a full fucking valley of different, you know, of distance from what it was between, you know, back in the day. This was the whole thing, was women are different than men. They have different desires. They have different ideas a lot of the time. But in order to bridge the gap, you have to be an attractive alpha male, whatever that means to you. And now it's like, let's point out some modern trend and talk about how miserable we are about, you know, how women are nowadays, instead of thinking about how to attract them in a better way. Instead of trying to think about how you could be more alpha with women or whatever, you have to be afraid of painted on eyebrows or, you know, some ridiculous shallow political thing that they're into as a threat to your own manhood and your own dick. You know, it's like, it's totally the opposite of everything. I'm going to say everything that I believe as far as what I've learned from the manosphere and am trying to actively get better at from the manosphere. It's anti-ethical to everything. The whole idea that women with tattoos, oh my God, they're psycho. You know, you're supposed to be able to surpass that. You're supposed to be able to transcend these ideas. You're supposed to be able to transcend these things. You know, and that's what a lot of these books were about. Like David Dida's Way of the Superior Man is one of them. It's like, oh, how you deal with the chaotic emotions of the female archetype and all this stuff. And it's like kind of new age and shit. But it's like, that's what it's about. And maybe, they went out and approached 5 women in their life and they got rejected. And so they start a blog and then they got married and they got divorced and they start, and both of those things together, I mean, and they start a blog and it's their like half red pill, Rollo Tomasi intellectual mental masturbation blog and like incel blog or fucking MGTOW or whatever. It's so stupid. I mean, I just think the ideas are pretty simple, and you know, maybe they did try. Maybe some of them did try, but you still see these gurus like Todd Valentine, and some of these guys, that are still in the pickup artist scene, saying the same thing they did 20 years ago, or maybe a little bit adjusted, but they still say some things that are similar, and they wouldn't have been able to sustain their career if it was all bullshit. That's my belief. Like, and these other guys are just even more vulturous because they're taking their insecurities and their own sense of inferiority complex, their own inferiority complexes, and projecting it upon the world and upon women. And that's far worse than like overcoming last minute resistance. In my opinion, overall for society, it's a lot worse. Overcoming last minute resistance is kind of vague because it's like, this is an example of what feminists have attacked pickup artist stuff with. Like, oh, it's rapey. Well, it depends on what you mean by overcoming last minute resistance. It means like if you're just cuddling more and then getting them more in the mood for sex, then that's a little different than, like being passive aggressive about it, which some of the guys suggest, but I don't like that either. But it's just it's a very nuanced. You have to have a nuanced approach to this whole thing. But yeah, it's this whole thing that the X type of woman is a threat to my manhood. So I'm gonna do 20 videos a day about it, and I read some feminist blog from 10 years ago that says, all this crazy shit. I'm gonna, put a microscope or magnifying glass on it, and then talk about it for 2 hours and make money from it, like Better Bachelor, does and stuff. It's so stupid. It's like, and I do watch Better Bachelor regularly. I agree with some of the stuff he says, and I know I make fun of him, but it's like I like making fun of stuff. But yeah, this whole thing has been flipped, and it's so frustrating to see people totally lose out on it. I'm not going to say the wealth of knowledge, but a lot of some people that are against the pickup scene would say it's basic common sense. But even now, with how things are being taught on this other side, this manosphere side, the common sense is out the window. It's out the window on the left, obviously, with a lot of things, but it's out the window on the right too. And that's my whole point in this video. It's like, you take these ideas of simple attraction. I think women with tattoos are hot. I think sleeves are put in a little too far for me. I mean, I've dated women with tattoos. I've dated women that, want to get a lot of tattoos and stuff. I mean, I've done, there's various things that I've done, and I don't think. I think it's very like, it's lumping people into a category too. I mean, in the metal world, like I'm in, women are going to have tattoos, period. I mean, it used to be less common that people had tattoos, period, in general. But like the 90s and on, pretty much tattoos were the cool thing to do. So, and yeah, this stereotypical Generation Z or millennial that has blue hair, has a lot of tattoos, a BLM poster, is still wearing a mask in 2022 a lot of the time, or all this stuff, and yeah, that's pretty cringe and it's pretty annoying. But to collectivize, put people in a category, collectivize, you're basically collectivizing people, putting them in the category, and not treating them as individuals. And maybe, and the PUA stuff definitely doesn't do that, but I think they're closer to reality when it comes to these subjects, because just my experience, what I've seen, this is from, and they're not coming from the idea that they're coming from. This kind of stuff is actual misogyny in many ways. I will agree with that woman. I'm starting to, like, the gears are turning. I'm like, this is actual, like, the incel thing is actual misogyny. The pickup artist thing seems, it's like almost like I don't know. It's like, let's say like it's a scale of metal music. It's like comparing the band Cream to Disembowelment or something like that. Like, or that's not a good example. Or Cephalic Carnage or whatever. It's like the scale. It's off the scale. Like the old school PUA scenes is like soft rock, and compared to like the extreme metal of this manosphere stuff, and it's dumbed down and stupid too. It just doesn't have any depth to it, like in the way that it used to, in my opinion. And I'm bashing it. And Playing with Fire would probably agree with that. Like I said, like I think he would say, well, you're supposed to be able to, like he talks about women that have had a high body count, quote unquote, who I've dated some of those types too. And maybe the general trend of seriously dating a woman like that, you can stereotype them as they probably have a lot of emotional issues or baggage a lot of the time, but maybe not all the time. Maybe there was something in their past that they used to do and they don't do it now, or they had a phase. Like a lot of girls I've dated, like at least 2 or 3 girls I've dated have had the phase in their early 20s where they're a slut. Of course, bringing it up every couple months for some odd reason was weird with one of my exes. But yeah, it's just stupid. It's like, would I date a girl? Oh, would I date a girl with painted on eyebrows? Yeah, I did. But it's like, I don't think it's representative of everything that they're about as a person. It's like, it's one factor, it's one aspect. So they're clumping people all together, just like they accuse the left of doing, which the left does a lot of the time. But they're doing it themselves. They're clumping people into territory, into different categories and camps, when they themselves can be, a little bit more critical thinking about this. So they could think, well, oh, okay, well, I don't like tattoos, so I choose not to date a girl with a lot of tattoos. Done. One and done. But going on, oh my God, the dating landscape is so bad with all these girls with tattoos. I'm so afraid. Who is the cuck? Who is the beta male at this point? The guy that, okay, well, let's just put it this way. You can find tattoos unattractive. You do you. And maybe the trend is pretty trendy. Okay, I'll give you that. I happen to not mind it because I like it. I like gothy looks. I like punky looks. I like metalish looks on girls. Not completely like over the top about it, like a little bit more of a balance in the middle, but like I do like it. So, because I don't like big, what are they called? Fuck, I forgot what it's called. But there's like different things, different types of piercings and stuff. I don't really like that much of that. Like if you had your nose like down to your fucking belly button with a piercing or something, or whatever, they're stretching stuff, different stretching ears, and I'm not into that shit. But like simple 5 to 10 tattoos and like maybe a back piece and like a maybe a nose piercing or something, but nice hair, there's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong with that? I mean, I don't really see what's wrong with that. That's just my personal preference. It's been for many years. So some of the stuff I liked back in the day is more common now. So I'm like, well, I want to rebel against it because I'm a natural contrarian, but at the same time, it's like I'll enjoy it. I'll savor it. Savor what's popular if you like it, But these people that come out, and they're definitely conservatives, like, and social conservatives at that. It's like, oh, girls with tattoos. Why aren't they just wearing like a skirt and an apron? Girls with tattoos. You sound like such a wuss. You sound like such a fucking pussy cuck beta male by saying that you're so threatened, so offended by women with tattoos and painted. I mean, there was a guy, I mentioned this guy because, I know him. He talks about painted on eyebrows. And I think it is pretty funny, when he says that. I'm clumping him in because it's kind of like this attitude that people have nowadays, and like certain people. I'm just like, this is fucking stupid. If you are skillful, if you are attractive to women, if you are skillful with your game skills, if you are attractive, period, I was just fucking around. If you are, that's like self-anchor, have you ever found someone really attractive that you were watching a video of and you started thinking about it, say a time in the future, say 6 months from now, thinking back to this video and how turned on you were? Then watch more of my videos. That's a little NLP for you, but neuro-linguistic programming. But anyways, yeah, I think it's stupid. and it's dumb. And I'm going way too long with this video, like I usually do. I want to do with a lot of stuff, but I think it's so fucking stupid. I decided to do a video. So I was just like scrolling through my YouTubes, you know, as they call them in Australia. I have a bad Australian accent. I can't do accents worth a shit. So I was going through the YouTubes and YouTube videos, and I saw this video. So I'm just like responding to it, but it's just like, I don't care. Now let's get to the next subject too. I'm just going to go a little bit further. This might be 25 minutes. I don't care. The other subject is politics. Okay, politics. So I had an ex, most recent ex, that, you know, she saw a picture of me with a Thor's hammer. And she's like, well, when I saw that, I thought you were like, might be a neo-Nazi. And I'm like, how naive are you, first of all? And it's pretty stupid to say that, but it's like, she's with me. It doesn't really matter if she thought I might have some fascistic tendencies in my life because I'm wearing a fucking Thor's hammer, which is fucking plain retarded. I'm sorry to say it, but and I'm gonna use the word retarded. I don't care if YouTube, whatever. I'm gonna say it. I've said it all my life. I'm not gonna stop saying it. I was called retarded, so I have the right. It's kind of like, you know, one of those self-identified. I was called retarded in middle school and stuff, or not middle school, in elementary school. So I'm gonna like take back the term, you know, or whatever. I'm just kidding, but it's really dumb. It means stopped or slowed down anyway. It's like, it's just, you know, stopped or slowed down. That's what I said to the girl that used to call me retarded. Anyways, I gave her the dictionary definition. So I just think it's really stupid to like talk about like little aspects of a woman's a woman's politics, like as if they're going to be a threat to you. How do you deal with that? I mean, it's another subject, you know. Obviously, maybe I should have done another video about it, but how do you deal with that? Like if they're totally like a NPC, quote unquote. Well, if you're with them, first of all, you know, if there's, I mean, you know, stereotyping persons like personality disorders / mental disorders with regards to politics. I mean, I know that can be done in this situation, but if you can really transcend, I was going to say transgress, but transcend this idea that, oh, well, I can't date, you know, all these woke women out there, I can't date anymore. Well, you know, I mean, that's your choice. Now, you could just stand on your own and say, and, you know, stand up for yourself and stand up for your mental, your mental abilities and your ideas, and say that I'm going to be me, and that's it, and not have to like, I mean, the worst thing would be to come forward and say, oh, I have this, just start talking about politics, or, you know, on the first date. It's akin to someone talking about their mental disorders on a first date. You know, it's like, oh, I have social anxiety, OCD, and depression. You know, it's like, okay, well, that's not very attractive. You got to attract a woman into, you know, being in a relationship with you, and then maybe you can tell them, you know, about that stuff, or, you know, maybe if it comes up, maybe even in the first early days or whatever. But yeah, it's just so stupid. It's like this whole right wing like trend of, oh, well, these women are threatening me, you know, my manhood is so threatened. If you're a fucking smooth operator, as they call it, as you used to call it, you should be able to transcend these things. You should be able to get all the pussy possible, even if they're fucking call themselves 50 different genders, but they're really a woman and feminine and stuff. But even if they call themselves 50 different genders and they have a BLM fucking like tattoo on their forehead, but you're still attracted to them for some reason. I don't know why you would be, but I'm just saying you should be able to transcend that. If you're truly alpha, you truly can build attraction. And relationships, maybe they're talking about relationships, but relationships can evolve. Relationships, people can change. I've dated women that liked fucking new metal, and I got them into like real metal, you know? I mean, you can change someone's mind. You can influence them as a person. If you're truly alpha, you believe that. You believe you can influence people. You believe you can attract women even if they're different. You could believe that a tattooed woman is not a threat to your manhood. That's about all. Peace out.